Bismillah wa salatu wa salamu ala rasulillahi wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in. Assalamu alaikum, Husna. Let's finish up our map today, and then you can give me the full drawing awesomeness that you're supposed to give me. We're studying gender now. We've done status and we've also done number and the 6 kind of plurals, right? Now gender is basically masculine versus feminine. I'm going to give you more comprehensive notes than I gave originally, okay? Masculine versus feminine. And when we study masculine versus feminine, I'll just break it up. So we're going to say the first thing we're going to say is there is real masculine versus fake masculine. And just like that, there is real feminine versus fake feminine. In your original notes, all I talk about is the feminine side. I don't talk about the masculine at all, okay? But now I'm going to talk to you about both. So there's real masculine versus fake masculine. And I think you need to move your arm. It's covering the screen. Where is it? Or yeah, there you go. Okay. So just scoot over a little bit this way. You should be okay. All right. So now, real masculine and fake masculine is basically this. If I say a word like rajul, right? Then why is the word rajul masculine?
Because it means man, and
because
it's
it's in reality a male.
Yeah.
So it's masculine because the meaning is male. Because you know, when I say male, I'm talking about biology. I'm talking about a gender of a person or a living thing.
Yeah.
Okay. But when I say, let's say, qalam, I would say, you know, according to your previous knowledge, I would say that qalam is masculine because there's no sign of feminine.
Yeah.
But it's not masculine because it's a male.
It's masculine because there's no sign.
Because there's no sign of feminine. So what I'm saying is you can get, so this is masculine. It's not male. Stop it. Okay, fine, I give up. Okay? You with me so far?
Yes.
Now this is important because sometimes you have a name like Talha. Talha is the name of a boy. And I'm going to call him a male. Yes?
Yeah.
Even though, what letter is at the end?
Tamarbuta.
It doesn't matter now.
Okay.
Because even though there's a tamarbuta at the end, in reality Talha is a male, so the gender will still be masculine.
Okay.
You understand?
Alright.
Now, the thing is that the tamarbuta and the alif maqsura, which we'll go back to today, and the alif mamduda, those 3 kinds of endings, they are only helpful to give you a fake gender. They cannot give you a real gender. Now in this case, you would say, well, maybe this word is feminine because it has this letter, so maybe this is a fake feminine.
Okay.
But the problem is the fake feminine is in conflict with the real masculine. In reality, it's masculine.
Yeah.
And when those 2 things are fighting with each other, who always wins? Reality wins.
Okay.
So in reality, this is masculine. You also learned a long time ago that the alif maqsura, like the ending in the word husna, for example, that's a sign of feminine.
Yeah.
It's not just tamarbuta, it's also this alif. Okay? Let's see if I can put a dagger alif in there. There we go. Okay? Husna. But if I say Isa, is that the same?
Masculine.
Are they both feminine?
Nope.
So your name is feminine for 2 reasons. In reality, it's the name of a girl, but also just as a word, it also means something good or the best. Okay? Which actually means that it's feminine because of the ending. So it's a fake feminine too. But the word Isa, even though you might say, well, maybe it's a fake feminine because of the ending, that doesn't matter. It's not correct. Why? Because in reality, Isa is a man. You understand me so far?
Yes.
So that's also true on the women's side. So for example, if you have a woman named Zainab, or let's say Iman, because we have an Iman in the house. What does Iman mean?
Faith.
It means faith.
Yes.
But iman could also mean
Yes.
right? We have an iman in the house.
Yes.
And when we talk about iman in the house, we don't mean faith.
You mean monkey person?
Yeah. When I say iman is in trouble, we don't mean your faith is in trouble.
Yeah.
What I mean is iman just poured chocolate milk on your hair or something.
Yeah.
You understand?
Uh-huh.
Now, when you're talking about iman as faith,
Mm-hmm.
then is it masculine or feminine?
Masculine?
That's correct, because it has no sign of feminine. But when you're talking about iman, the name of a monkey girl at home, then is it masculine or feminine?
Feminine.
Why?
Because it's a name?
Because it's the name of a
Girl.
girl. So the reality overtakes, and it doesn't matter how it's spelled now.
Mm-hmm.
Now let me give you an example that's just completely nonsensical, but just to make a point. If I was really cruel, and we had a baby girl in the house, a new baby girl in the house, and I named her, I don't know, Zaid. Right?
Okay.
So if I took a girl and named her Zaid, Zaid on its own could be masculine.
Mm-hmm.
But when I'm talking about Zaid the girl, then the word Zaid is what?
Feminine.
Feminine. Why? Because the word is being used to talk about someone really female.
Okay.
You understand?
Yes.
That's the first set of thoughts I want you to have. The distinction between real masculine and fake masculine. The distinction between real feminine and
Fake.
fake feminine. Okay, now, the second set or the third item in your notes for gender is study feminine and all else is considered what?
Masculine.
Masculine. We have this rule I gave you a long time ago. Every ism is feminine, or every ism is masculine until you can prove that it's
Feminine.
feminine. So you only study the proofs of feminine, and when you learn those proofs well, you don't find them, and you say, well, this word is masculine, and somebody says, why is this word masculine? You get to say, well, because I couldn't find any reason to make it feminine.
Okay.
Okay, that's the thought process behind it. Now, given that you had 3-letter endings, you had the ta marbuta, you had the alif maksura, and you have the alif mamduda. Even if you don't know the terms before, now it's good to know them now. It's not necessary entirely, but it's still good to know. Ta marbuta, alif maksura, and alif mamduda. التاء المربوطة الألف. You don't have to write this down. المقصورة and الألف الممدودة. Okay. تاء مربوطة, ألف مقصورة, ألف ممدودة. ممدودة means the one with mud on it.
Yeah.
Now, these three have 3 different functions. We're going to talk about those functions. We never talked about them before.
Okay.
Okay. Ta marbuta is the easiest one. If you have Muslimun, you can turn it into feminine as what? Muslimatun. When you did sarf in unit 4 a long time ago, you did, for example, mukhbirun, mukhbiran, mukhbirin, mukhbirani, 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 mukhbiruna, mukhbirina, mukhbirina. But then you did the feminine also, mukhbiratun, mukhbiratan, mukhbiratin. Right? So we use ta marbuta for many, many words in sarf to turn them from masculine into feminine. Right? That's what ta marbuta is the most used. And it's the easiest one. So we almost don't even need to study it. Okay? The other thing about ta marbuta is its plural comes with atun. Right? If you have ta marbuta in the singular, then the plural will give you atun. Right? Where's alif maksura used though? That's the question I want to teach you about a little bit today. Okay? So you have in Arabic the word ahsan or akbar or afdal or akram. That's good enough. Actually, akram may be too much too. Just 3 is good enough. Okay? And maybe I'll change akbar to ahsan to asghar. And aswa. That's good enough. Okay. Ahsan means better. Asghar means smaller.
Smaller.
Akbar means bigger. These words are actually partly flexible.
Okay.
Partly flexible means the rafa is u, the nasab is a, and the jar is also
Ah.
okay? These are also comparatives.
Yeah.
They're comparatives, which means ahsan is better, smaller here, and akbar is bigger. Now there's two things. If you want to make them superlative, if you'd like to make them superlative, then you just put alif on them. Alif lam on them, sorry. Al-ahsan, al-asghar, and
Al-Akbar.
al-akbar. So the translation of the top is different from the translation of the bottom. This is better, smaller, bigger.
Okay.
This is best, the best, the smallest,
And the biggest.
and the biggest.
Okay.
So al in this case doesn't just make the word the, it makes it superlative.
Okay.
When we give the adhan, we say Allahu Akbar.
Akbar.
So we use the comparative or the superlative?
Comparative.
We use the comparative. So we're not saying Allah is the greatest. We're actually saying Allah is greater. Okay? What is the purpose of using comparative? You're comparing to something. So when the adhan is given, you're telling yourself, whatever Allah is asking me to do is greater than anything else I'm doing right now. You're comparing. You understand? Allah is greater than my work. Allah is greater than my sleep. Allah is greater than my game. Allah is greater than my lunch. Allah is greater than everything else. Allah is greater than the conversation I'm having right now. That's why I'm going to go pray. That's why it's so beautiful that Allah teaches us to use the comparative instead of the superlative. You with me so far?
Yes.
Now here's where the crazy begins. The crazy is the feminine version of ahsan is ahsan.
Okay.
The feminine version of asghar is
Asghar.
asghar, and the feminine version of akbar is
Akbar.
akbar. In other words, when it's comparative, the masculine and the feminine is the same.
Okay.
So I will say, waliya asgharu min husna. Waliya asghar min husna. You know what that means? Waliya is smaller than husna. Okay? So, or Abba akbar min mama.
Okay.
Abba is bigger than mama.
Yeah.
In other words, whether I'm talking about male or female, it didn't matter. Masculine or feminine didn't matter. When you're comparing, you can use this for masculine and you can use this for
Feminine.
feminine. You with me?
Mm-hmm.
But that is not the case for the superlative. When you have the superlative, you have to convert the word into something else entirely. Now
Okay.
watch. Al-ahsan, the feminine of it is al-husna. Al-asghar, the feminine of it is as-sughra. Al-akbar, take a guess.
Al-Kubra.
Good. Al-kubra. فإذا جاءت الطامة
Kubra.
الكبرى. Okay? You know, أيما تدعو فله الأسماء الحسنى. Al-husna. Al-husna is actually the feminine of al-ahsan.
Ahsan.
Now what I need you to just keep clear in your brain, there's a line between comparative and superlative.
Mm-hmm.
What is the feminine of the comparative? What is the feminine of ahsan?
Ahsan.
Good. Feminine of asghar?
Asghar.
Asghar. Feminine of akbar?
Akbar.
Akbar. Feminine, let's say feminine of ajmal.
Ajmal.
Ajmal, more beautiful. Ajmal means more beautiful. Okay? But feminine of al-ahsan,
Al-Husna.
you have to have al.
Okay.
Okay? Similarly, the feminine of al-a'zam. Al-a'zam, the greatest.
Uzma.
Al-uzma, yeah. That's where uzma comes from. Some people name their daughters uzma. Right? What about this one? Aysar means easier.
Okay.
Aysar means easier. What's the feminine of Aysar?
Aysar.
Good. What's the superlative of Aysar? The easiest.
Al-Aysar.
Good. Very good. Al-Aysar. And what's the feminine of Al-Aysar?
Al-Yusra.
Mm-hmm. You know any girls named Yusra?
Yeah.
Yep. That's where it comes from. Al-Yusra. Get it?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, let's try a couple more. أصعب means harder. What's the hardest? Well, first of all, give me the feminine. Let me write the feminine next to it.
أصعب.
Very good. The superlative.
الأصعب.
Al-as'ab. The superlative feminine.
الصعبة.
Good. As-su'ba.
Okay.
You get the idea?
Yes.
Now you know where the alif maqsura is used. And again, you know, when I first taught you, I said sometimes a word is feminine because it has a ta marbuta. Sometimes a word is feminine because it has an alif maqsura. You remember that?
Mm-hmm.
But now you know specifically the only time the alif maqsura is feminine is when it's for the superlative. It's at-tammatul kubra, al-asma'ul husna. Okay?
Okay.
Those are the examples in which you're going to find that usage. Okay? It's not just any alif maqsura.
Okay.
It's not any alif maqsura. Like for example, the word huda, that's not like al-yusra or al-sughra. It's just the word huda. That's not feminine, actually. Huda just means guidance. In grammar, huda is masculine.
Mm-hmm.
It's fake masculine, of course, because huda is guidance. Guidance
Yeah.
is not a man, so it's fake masculine. Just like the word iman is also fake masculine.
Yeah.
But when you give it to a girl, it becomes feminine because the reality is otherwise, right? Which is why actually there are men whose name is iman also. And there are men whose name is huda also. Okay?
Mhm.
Because the word itself doesn't have necessarily one gender or the other. You with me so far? So now we have some knowledge of ta marbuta and we also have some knowledge of alif maqsura,
Mhm.
right? What's left?
ألف ممدودة.
Yeah, alif mamduda, the stretched alif. Okay? The stretched alif, maybe inshallah I've given you enough for one session. Maybe in the next session I'll teach you some things about the stretched alif and we'll finish off the map. Because I don't want to rush through this. I'd rather you get this properly. Okay?
Mhm.
Because all of this is going in your poster. Like I
Mhm.
want to see this entire picture of everything I've taught you in one place. So you have a mind map. You know? And then I'm going to make our entire student body make me one. And compare what the best one is and maybe give out a prize.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't think you're going to win, but you know, the competition's pretty big.
Yes.
Maybe with like 30,000 people.
No,
Seriously.
it's a lot.
That's a lot of people.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? But anyway, we'll stop here and we'll do another session inshallah ta'ala on the alif mamduda. Barakallahu li wa lakum. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.